So we have two other tools here for walking here, actually walk and fly. If you click on fly, actually the flight mode will be activated here, and you can move through the space or environment of Navisworks in every kind of space you would like. You can move through it like this. You can, for example, move them here when actually you are on fly like this. You can do all of these changings in here by clicking on right and left. You can just move through right and left, and by clicking on forward or backward you can move through actually these directions. So like this you can actually set them in here. So if you click on walk, it's walking as it is clear like a character. You will start to walk. If you just press mouse key, it will be like a pen. It will go up and down. If you rotate it, it means that your head is being rotated here, and by pressing a right key or a left key, and by just moving the mouse, you can just move through the project. And by signs here, you can just go backward, I don't know, forward, left, right, and you can walk easier, and you can check your project better. So like this. Let me rotate it, let me go forward, and let me just come down like this. Let's go more forward. It is this. We can actually move through these spaces in here. So this is it. Let me come down, let me go into this space, and like this we can just move through the spaces and environments here, and we can check whatever we want. If actually the choices that we have here for walking, they are activated, we have some other options here that by using third person actually we will see a kind of character in here that, for example, we can move through these spaces. You know, the character will go into the objects. Yes, we can just open here and we can just set it on occlusion. You know, the actually it will go on to the it won't go into the objects. It will walk on the surfaces, and we can see the objects better. Let's go forward. You see, because it is occlusion, it won't let us move. So let me just inactivate occlusion, and we can go inside the spaces. Let me just activate the occlusion again. So it will just move on these surfaces here. If we activate the gravity in here, it will just walk on the surfaces, and for sure we must have a surface. If we don't have any surface, it won't move. And actually, if you click on crouch, if you don't have enough space, it will crouch. For example, if you want to simulate a kind of space that it needs for repairing or fixing, and for example you have enough space for moving, or it's really tight, you can use these options. You can activate or inactivate the options from here. Let me just inactivate them. Let me just click on walk, select that I'm able to go back again in here. So let me go to this side. So another point that we have in here is actually you can do the settings. For example, I selected this character and walk, and for example here gravity. You see, for example, now it will just move on the surface. Yes, we are able to select and edit correct viewpoint, and we do the settings of the avatar. In here, avatar occlusion, we can just do the settings. You know, in the occlusion window, you have occlusion. I don't know the other options, for example, that we explained them before. Just here and down, we have the character. It's talking about the character. Radius means, or for example, you can just set the width of this character. If it is, for example, like kind of overweight, or for example, thin. Yes, whatever that you like, you can just define and set a kind of number. For example, if I set it on half, the width of this character will be bigger. And for example, if you like to use, for example, a kind of overweighted person, or for example tall person, you can use the tools in here. By default it is on 3/10. The height of, for example, this character could be set in here, I don't know, 1.6, 1.7, as ever you wish. Yes, so you can just set this number in here. So this is eye offset, the distance actually of the eye of the character with the character for example, if you want to see it better sometimes or more clear, you can just change this actually parameter that based on your needs, you can just do whatever you want. Like this, you can see it better, you can just change it. You can, let me just make it less, and let me say it on 6/10, so it will be like this. And for example, let me return to this place, and the default that is 15/100th, so it is okay. Just let me bring it up. You know the reason that it is red, because we activated the collision and it will be inside the object. It is warning. Yes, the reason of the red character is this, and we have to just by a mouse roller, we can just make it pan and we can correct it. So this is the third person actually that you want to activate it or not, and we activated it in here. This is the option that we had in here, the auto zoom. Exactly, when you just click the for example avatar, it will be zoomed in automatically. Here we can just change the shape of the avatar. Let me just explain a very important point in here. The time that you, for example, let me go forward, the avatar is inactivated. Actually the details in a busy project might be seen a little less. When you have avatar, exactly the details of the things will be really better, and you can check them better, and you can see them perfect. So you have to pay attention that when you, for example, the avatar is activated, the radius and the actually details will be seen really better here. So let me go back again to this part. Let me just, I can see there this offset for half, for example, or actually this number that I can see it better. I can go to this part and I will change the shape of the avatar. For example, maybe it's just a kind of thing that you can just see it, that it is having any kind of accent or anything else. Or for example, we don't have any kind of avatar, just it moves on these surfaces and without any kind of character. Exactly, you have the realism things or options here, but you don't have any kind of character. And for example, some other forms like construction worker, that for example, and other options that you can just select them and check them, and you can set everything that you want. For example, office here, or I don't know, another one in here. Yeah, you can, based on your need, set them. Let me set on construction worker in here. In here you can just set the distance in here, then the avatar. For example, what kind of distance do you want to just place, then the avatar, because by default in some places that are busy really, and there are a lot of objects here, maybe if you're just near to that, and for example, and or if it is, for example, far from it, it will be behind the elements. You cannot just check it better. You can just zoom it in, that it is exactly on the face of the avatar to see it better. For example, here if it is 2/10 like this, exactly we are on the face of avatar. And for example, we are seeing instead of avatar here. So based on your need, you can just set it, and whatever you want, you can just set it in here. Let me just return it to here, and let's consider 1 meter. Okay and okay. And let me just return to here. It is let me just set it more, 3 meters, for example, and it will tell us that what kind of angle do you want to have for the avatar. We want to see it from up, or let me come back and rotate it to be like this, and it is by default that you can change it. Let me just set it on 0 and okay. If you want to reset these options, if you just click on reset, it will be a return to the default. Let me activate and activate, okay and okay. So here, actually, let me inactivate the collision to come out of this space. Let me activate it. That exactly we can control it and manage it in here. So like this, actually, we can do these settings of the avatar based on our